Hello, I'm Charlie Frost, and on today's episode of the 24MX Workshop, I'm going to demonstrate how to install the ProWorks quickload transport system. The pros of using the quickload transport system is you don't need no straps, no wheel chucks, you just push the bike into place and off you go. So very straightforward demonstration here how you're going to install it. It's going to take sort of 5 to 10 minutes, and we've got sort of 3 basic tools: drill, socket set, and a marker pen. So you want to make sure when you put the transport system into the trailer that you don't mount it too far forward or too far back. So we've already put the bike into place in the trailer to measure out where it's got to go. So obviously different trailer types are going to be different. So we've pushed the front wheel of the bike up against the trailer, and we've now positioned the transport system where it needs to go before we mount the plates. So just before you do this step, make sure you put the bike into place and you can position the mounting plates and the transport system where it needs to go before you drill any holes, because if you drill the holes too soon or out of place, it's not going to work. So the bike's already been in place. So now what we're going to do is going to mark the mounting plates into the bottom of the trailer. Once the mounting plates are in place, then obviously the transport system can click itself into place. Now, the mounting plates will always stay on the trailer, so they will always stay fixed to the bottom of the trailer. It's the transport system, which will obviously be a quick release in and out. So now that the mounting plates, like these two, are where they need to go, we're going to mark the 4 holes before we drill them. Now, recommended marker pen. You could use a screwdriver and sort of scratch it or make a mark, but I mean, a marker pen's a bit more professional. So the 4 holes at either end of the mounting plates, we're going to get us a nice mark on the floor so we know where to drill these holes. Hopefully without moving it. So now that we've got our marks, what we can do is we can move the system out of the way. Just for now. So now you can see we've got our 4 holes, which is now the next step. We're going to drill through the trailer. Now this is only thick plywood, so it's okay. But obviously making sure that on the bottom of the trailer, you've got the strut system, or the framework, should we say. Just make sure that you don't drill through that. So we've already looked underneath the trailer to check that obviously it won't interfere with our drill bit. I'm going to drill through the first hole. And do like so on the rest of the other 3 holes. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the mounting plates from the bottom of the transport system so we can make sure that we've lined up the holes correctly. Move that to one side. So put the mounting plates back into place. Hopefully we've lined them up nice and square. Yep. Same again for this side. Lovely. So what we're going to do next is going to get your 4 bolts, like so. Now this next step might require a second set of hands, because obviously you're going to need to tighten the bolt up from this side whilst holding the washer and the nut underneath. So you may need a second set of hands for this next step. But put your bolts down through, in all 4 of them, like so. So what we can now do is put the mounting plates back into place, lining up the holes. Like so. And then we're going to drop the bolt down through on each one. Now this could be where you need your second set of hands. I mean, you might get away with this side because you can probably reach it from the other side of the trailer, but maybe the internal ones are going to want someone else to hold the nuts underneath for you. So we're going to get our washers, and obviously we're going to need the correct socket size for this. So we're going to go into our ProWorks socket set. Going to get the right size head for that, and then obviously the correct spanner size for the nut, which again I'm going to say is a 14. Yep. So you have a normal washer, and then you have your sprung-loaded, what I call sprung-loaded washer. So we're going to put the bigger washer up first, and then the sprung-loaded washer next, and then the nut itself. So now the bolts are in place. I have got Philip underneath going to hold the nuts for me. So like I said, the second set of hands is going to be necessary for this next step. So we're going to do the bolts up in order. So I'm gonna start with this one. Cool, so we've got all 4 bolts on the mounting place nice and tight. So now that they're in place, that's the installation side of it done, should we say. So now the mounting plates are where they need to be. We're gonna locate the transport system into where the hole is supposed to go. As you can see, you've got 4 holes on the bottom. And if you look on the underside of the transport system, you've got 2 lugs, okay? Those 2 lugs are gonna sit into those holes and pull back into place, then they can't move left or right. So if we slide it into place, so now that the transport system is into place with the 2 locking pins secure, the next step is to wheel the bike into the trailer, and then we're going to step on either side of these push down rods. As you can see, as the bike will be sat in place with the foot peg here, as you stand down on this sort of locking tooth or clip is going to go down over the top of either that one or that one. So the foot peg is locked in place, and then we'll put the security pin through the leg. So if we release that one now, you get an idea of how it's going to work. So next step is going to get the bike into place, stand down on the 2 rods, and then the bike will be secure. So we're going to need our ramp for the next job. Like so. And then we're going to stand down on the rod, locking it into place. And then same with this side. Lock that down into place. So the bike is now secure on the foot pegs. And then the last step is going to put the security pin through the leg of the transport system, locking that into place. So now that the transport system is locked into place, the bike is locked into place with the foot pegs secure. So that obviously stops you from needing tie down straps, wheel chucks. So the bike will now not move in transport. So this is one of the ways to get your bike to the track using the ProWorks quickload transport system. Next up, we're going to show you how to use the 24MX tie down straps. Very basic method of loading your bike onto the trailer. Pretty simple. We've already got one in place. 2 ends to the strap, what I'd call the eyelet end. That'll go into the hook in the trailer. Now some people get confused with this part of the strap. Now this bit actually goes around the handlebar or the fork leg. This bit is also what pulls the strap to make it tighter. So this loop here is what we're going to use to go around the handlebar. So we're now going to put the eyelet end into the hook on the trailer in the corner at the front. So as you can see, we've got 2 straps here. That's all you need is the 2 tie down straps on the front. So the way it's going to work is we're going to put the bike into the center of the trailer, pushing the front wheel against the front edge of the trailer. And then both tie down straps are going to pull the bike equally, so it's nice and straight. Going to compress the fork slightly, just so the bike doesn't move. So now I've got the straps in place. I'm going to get the bike into the trailer. Keep it nice and straight. I'm going to push that front wheel up against the trailer like that. And we'll start with this side. Make sure the strap is nice and straight, it's not twisted. Sometimes if it's twisted, you pull it through the strap, sometimes it can get stuck. So using this eyelet piece we mentioned earlier. So we're going to loop around the handlebar, making sure there's no cables intact, so we're keeping them out of the way of the strap. I'm going to put the hook of the strap back through the eyelet, making sure that it comes out the other side so it doesn't slip out. We're going to pull down this strap, not too tight just for now. Obviously if I pull it too tight this way, it could fall over. So I'm going to do it slightly that side, holding on to the bike at all times. Go to the other side, same process. Again, I'm going to go around the handlebar with the eyelet part of the strap. Again, don't go around any cables or clutch lines or anything because you don't want to do any damage. I'm going to put the hook through like that and then pull down on the tie down strap. And now what you want to do is making sure you pull it equally so you don't pull it too far one side or the other. So I'm going to push down this side, vice versa this side. And that's pretty tight there. So now that it's just, we've used 2 tie down straps and that is enough for the bike to be nice and sturdy in the trailer whilst going to and from the track. This is the alternative option from the quick transportation system. And obviously you've got these 24MX tie down straps.